Link is one of those characters that was just destined for fighting games. In his own universe, he uses a plethora of items and weapons to conquer dungeons and defeat enemies, which naturally translates into a great moveset. And the combat system in the console Zelda games ever since Ocarina of Time has just been phenomenal, allowing you to perform a variety of sword strikes as well as use your other items to get the upper hand. Ever since Link made his way into Smash 64, he's been a perfect fit, and he even earned himself a spot in the GameCube release of Soul Calibur 2, cementing himself not just as a legendary RPG character, but a fighter as well. Smash 4's custom move system gives Link an even wider range of tools to fight with, so it's time to break down each of Link's custom specials and determine the best moveset for both casual and competitive play. Starting off with the standard specials, Neutral Special 1 is the Hero's Bow. Uncharged, the arrows do about 4% damage, and fully charged they can do up to 12%, and you can also block other projectiles with them. Surprisingly, the uncharged arrows are actually pretty quick and have pretty decent range, but charging Link's Neutral Special allows you to shoot faster and farther. This allows you to pick and choose exactly how far you want your arrows to go, and the speed at which they shoot and travel makes Neutral Special 1 a pretty good projectile for zoning on stage as well as edge guarding. Side Special 1 is the Gale Boomerang that we first saw introduced in Brawl. Up close it can do 7% damage and has a decent amount of knockback and hit stun, somewhat in between Smash 64 and Melee's Boomerang. However, when the Gale Boomerang returns, it'll bring enemies with it if they get caught in its wind box. This can create some really creative and cool looking combos as well as gimp certain characters off stage. Fortunately, since there's no hitbox on the Gale Boomerang as it returns, if it's reflected back at Link he won't take any damage. And just like in every Smash game before, if you do a smash input as opposed to a soft press, you can throw the boomerang even further. Spin Attack is Link's default up special that we know and love. Although its on-stage killing power isn't as devastating as it was in Melee, you can charge Link's Spin Attack for huge damage and knockback. If you can catch your opponent air dodging or using an unsafe move in the air at high percent, an aerial spin attack is also a decent kill move and can stage spike if your opponent isn't ready to tech. Recovery-wise, Link gets quite a bit of vertical distance from the spin attack and has a ton of momentum after it ends, allowing you to drift back to the stage if need be. You can also use Link's Claw Shot to recover if you want to mix things up or get to the ledge faster. It's one of the quickest and longest tether recoveries in the entire game. Default down special is Link's Bomb Projectile, which has tons of uses. You can use it as an on-stage zoning tool instead of arrows if you're looking for knockback over speed, and the hit stun of the explosion makes it so that you can get some pretty creative combos if you're quick enough. Offstage, the bombs aren't the greatest edge guarding tool since the explosion could make it easier for your opponent to recover, especially if they DI towards the ledge after being hit. However, if you're feeling a little bit flashy, an offstage bomb into a forward or down air is always amazing. The Power Bow is Link's Neutral Special 2, which drastically increases the charge time as well as the damage and knockback. An uncharged arrow basically goes nowhere and is pretty useless. However, a fully charged arrow can do up to 20% damage and kill certain characters at as low as 70%. While that does sound amazing, a fully charged arrow takes so long to charge up, and as I mentioned, the uncharged arrows don't really have a purpose because they go nowhere and take too long to charge as well. But if you're just enjoying a free-for-all playing casually or a team battle, you might be able to snipe unsuspecting enemies with these overpowered arrows. Side Special 2 is the Boomerang. Yep, just the Boomerang. Link's second side special gives him the old-fashioned Gale-less Boomerang from Smash 64 and Melee. However, the damage, knockback, and hit stun leave much to be desired. Instead of hitting enemies upwards to create potential combo follow-ups, the Boomerang just sends enemies away, and without a gust of wind to bring them back in, your combo pretty much just ends there. While it still has some merit as a zoning and edge guarding tool, the Gale Boomerang just seems to do all of the same things, but a little bit better. Shocking Spin is up special too, and offensively it's pretty similar to default up special, just with a lot more damage and knockback. But the real kicker is how much cooler it looks. As a recovery move, however, Shocking Spin is pretty terrible. Link's vertical distance is almost halved when using this move, and he has significantly less horizontal momentum, bringing him back down to the stage or blast zone pretty quickly. The hitbox for this move is only in front of Link as well, so if your aim is slightly off and your enemy ends up behind you, then you'll miss completely. But if you do manage to catch them in the air, then you might get a cool semi-spike hitbox on top of all that wicked electricity. Down Special 2 is the Giant Bomb, which honestly looks a lot more interesting than it actually is. These bombs do about double the damage of a regular down special and have a bit more knockback, however they don't explode when thrown. Yup, these bombs are on a timer and don't even have any knockback or hit stun when you throw them at an enemy. If an enemy attacks one, however, it'll blow up right away. Link can't attack them to blow them up though, and they hurt him unlike his default bombs. So all in all, I'd say the giant bombs are pretty terrible. Link's neutral special 3 is the Quickfire Bow, which trades range and power for speed. The uncharged arrows do about 2% damage and their speed makes them slightly spammable. However, a fully charged arrow only does 7% damage with basically the same amount of knockback and hit stun. While the uncharged arrows do feel fun to spam, it only really seems viable if you're jumping around to maintain your momentum, and by doing that you'll shoot too high most of the time. When it comes to spammable projectiles though, Link's boomerang and bombs do a much better job, whereas his arrows are more suited for gimping recoveries. Side special 3 is the Ripping Boomerang, which goes through enemies dishing out multiple hits with a decent amount of hit stun. Unfortunately, the boomerang travels quite slow and doesn't have much range. So in order to get the most value out of it, you'd have to use it up close to your opponent and then think quickly to combo out of it or get a KO. In addition to that, when the boomerang is traveling back to Link, it'll still knock enemies away instead of towards Link, making it hard to follow up. So it seems like although the Ripping Boomerang is a cool idea, it isn't all that useful. Whirling Leap is Link's third up special, which trades any sort of damage and knockback for an insane increase in vertical and horizontal distance. With this up special, Link can basically recover back to the stage from anywhere, so in order to kill him you're going to need to send him straight into the blast zone or punish his recovery if he doesn't sweet spot it. Similar to Cloud, Link can only grab the ledge with up special 3 once he reaches the apex of his jump. Unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be any sort of win box to this move that can push enemies away. However, the idea is to get this heavy fairy boy back to the stage so we can keep kicking ass. So if you're one of those players who doesn't really use up B offensively with Link, I definitely recommend the Whirling Leap. Down special 3 is the Meteor Bomb, which is slightly weaker than the default down special and they detonate a bit faster. However, these bombs will meteor smash their victims on contact. Not only is that insanely fun for edge guarding, but knowing exactly where your enemy is going to be after the bomb hits makes it really easy to combo with. Link's default bombs pop enemies up and can send them too far depending on their DI and percent. However, with a Meteor Bomb, you always know where to put your follow-up move. When it comes to recovering, if you get hit really high up towards the blast zone, you can always use a Meteor Bomb to help you get back to the stage faster. Just be careful not to use it too low because they will meteor smash Link as well. To a lot of people's disappointment, Link's custom moves aren't much of an improvement on the default ones. However, they do add some new elements and possibilities to Link's moveset. Although many smashers would just prefer to stick with Link's default moves, I believe that this custom moveset can provide a new, fun, and interesting gameplay experience with Link that has more of a focus on edge guarding and comboing with Meteor Bombs, as well as surviving to high percents due to the improved recovery. Neutral Special 1, Hero's Bow. Side Special 1, Gale Boomerang. Up Special 3, Whirling Leap. Down Special 3, Meteor Bomb. When it comes to Link's arrows, the default neutral special is a good middle ground that really has everything you need out of them. You can charge it to vary the distance and power, which doesn't take too long at all, and the uncharged arrows are great for retreating at close and mid-range, and the fully charged arrows can snipe a recovery move from the other side of the stage. Although Link's arrows aren't exactly a spammable projectile, he definitely has other things to fit that role. The arrows are a pretty situational tool that can be extremely effective with a little practice, and the default Hero's Bow does the best job at that. Although the Melee Boomerang Side Special 2 does more damage and is easier to aim, it deals less knockback so enemies don't pop up like they would with the real Melee Boomerang. Instead, that attribute was given to the Gale Boomerang, and if you miss the initial hit, well, you still have a chance to combo when the boomerang comes back to you with the enemy. I actually don't know what feels more satisfying, a dirty Gale combo as the boomerang comes back to you, or comboing the first hit of the boomerang into a forward or down air. Either way, when it comes to overall damage and combo potential, the Gale Boomerang takes the cake. Now I know how satisfying it is to KO someone with Link's up special, whether it's in the air or on the ground. Trust me, I play Link in Melee. But because of his weight and fall speed, Link is quite easy to edge guard. With that being said, I think it's worth trading the damage and knockback of his up special for sheer vertical and horizontal distance. With up special 3 equipped, in order to get a KO on Link, you'll really have to earn it by sending him straight into the blast zone. If you're worried about needing a move on the ground that covers both sides of Link, Down smash comes out much faster than up special and can also do the trick. Last but not least, the Meteor bomb. While you do feel like a god when you land a regular bomb into a down air or forward air, quite often your enemy will take too much damage and the bomb will start to send them too far away for a follow-up. With the Meteor bomb, however, you know that when it makes contact, your enemy is going straight down, so you can anticipate this and choose your follow-up move before you even throw the bomb. Keep in mind that the bombs only explode after 3 seconds or after they hit a character. This means that they won't explode if you throw them at the ground or a wall. However, they will detonate if they hit something like the ducks on the duck hunt stage, so you can use things like that to your advantage as well. But that wraps up Custom Corner episode 15. I know it's been a while since the last guide style video, but I'll be doing them every now and then. If you missed the little channel update I did about why I've been posting different style content lately, then click the top video on your screen. And if you're looking for more Custom Corner action, then just click the bottom video. If your friends like experimenting with custom moves, then please share the video with them. I'd really appreciate it. As always, thanks for watching all the way until the end. I'm GOODxJESUS and happy smashing.